Hey, what's going on? You're tuned into the Daily Geek right here on SweetGeekTV. I'm your host, Griffin Grandberg, and today is January 23rd, 2009, episode 109 of the Daily Geek right here on SweetGeekTV. I'm so excited because I have a beautiful audience member sitting in today. I don't always have that. Lacey, of course. Someday, I'm going to get her on camera, but today, let's move on and get to the geek news, starting with story number one. With lots of new layoff news from digg, IBM, even rumors that Google may possibly be thinking about laying people off, even though they beat expectations for their earnings report. If you want like a nice detailed list, TechCrunch has been keeping one. We're going to go ahead and link to that on the interesting link section on our main site, SweetGeek.tv. If you want to see the reality of this crapshoot economy that currently happens to be, it's definitely a reality check. Go check it out. Story number two, SIRIUS XM, one of my favorite gadgets of all time, okay, my favorite services of all time, is raising the rates on their radios. Now, they can't do it on the first radio, okay? That is set in stone because it's a promise to the government, okay? But if you have a second radio or more radios, those fees are going up. The online feed they're going to start charging for. If you want to see the exact rate hikes that are going to happen, go check out the interesting link section on our main site, SweetGeek.tv. We are going to hook you up with where the rates are going and exactly for what. Here is the big tell on this, is that if they didn't do this, SiriusXM XM may just completely go bankrupt and not be available, period. So it's definitely a necessary move. Story number three, Yahoo is freezing the salaries on its employees. This is obviously one of Carol Bartz's first measures so they don't have to lay off more employees, because that's basically what happens as you continue to have more and more losses, more and more costs as a business during this economy. So they're freezing salaries in an attempt to hopefully not have to lay off any more workers. President Barack Obama also doing that with his staff, freezing their salaries if they're making over $100,000. So everyone's kind of doing their part. It's not the first announcement. It's not going to be the last announcement. Let's move on. Story number four, a sad loss today. That's right. Rest in peace, Flight Simulator. And there's a quick story I have to tell you about Flight Simulator, about a good friend of mine. In fact, one of my best friends, Shane, who's a flight instructor now in North Dakota, aka the tundra of the world, I swear. He was a huge Flight Simulator fan, obviously, way back in high school, and he would actually fly to Europe on his computer. So for hours at a time, it would just be a blue screen, and that's it. And I mean, it was very funny to run down to his basement where his computer was and be like, hey, Shane, let's go and do something. And he'd be like, oh, wait, I got 4 hours left of this 8-hour flight, so just come back. I mean, it was pretty funny that it happened several times. Shane, I love you just for that purpose. Story number five, the last story of the day, the Palm Pre. Everyone's excited about it. I'm excited because it's coming to Sprint, which means natural progression says that it's going to probably move to Verizon Wireless at some point in time because they're both using CDMA technology. If you want to know the facts, rumors, anything about the Palm Pre, the definitive guide is what they're calling it over at Gizmodo. And you know what? I agree with that title. It is awesome. Go check it out. I'm linking it up at the interesting link section on our main site, SweetGeek.tv. It is definitely worth your time to go check that out, especially if you care about the Palm Pre. I think it's going to be a pretty kick-ass phone. And there you have it. That is the Geek News for January 23rd, 2009, episode 109 of the Daily Geek right here on SweetGeekTV. I'm your host, Griffin Grandberg. Before we go, though, I have to give you the question of the day. The question of the day, are you sad to see Flight Simulator go? It's one of the oldest titles. It has heritage. It's a classic. It's way back in Packard Bell days. I mean, it's with, Sim City and, Roller Coaster Tycoon. Can you remember that? I do. Are you sad to see it go? I'm sad to see it go, even though I wasn't a super big fan. I'm totally interested to hear what you have to say about it. I will come back to every single comment left, and maybe, hey, even say hi to Lacey. She loves reading your comments as well. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'm going to try to do the same, and I will catch you right back here for a Monday edition of the Daily Geek on Monday. So, you know what? I'll see you then.